Today on the Gayle King Show, mommies who handle whining with wine, Rocco DeSpirito, he's ready to dine, and why the dress I wore yesterday was anything but fine. We are live and ready to go.
You never know what's going to happen in the world according to Gayle. Here she is, Gayle King.
G-A-Y-L-E-K-I is here for the Gayle King Show.
Hello and welcome. Can you tell that I actually loved Dr. Seuss when I was a little kid? I just like rhyming. I just think it's fun. This is what I'm learning when you start your own show and you're on TV on a daily basis, that everybody thinks there's a critic, thinks that they are a critic is what I'm trying to say. So yesterday, I even told you, favorite listeners, favorite viewers, that I was not so happy with the dress that I was wearing yesterday. I just returned from Africa, and Andre Austin, we'll call him out, Andre Austin said, you know, it would be really great. You could wear this dress. You just came back from Africa. And I'm thinking, yeah, but I wasn't on a safari. It's not like I came back going, ay, 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 ay. That's a celebratory chant in some places in Africa. So yesterday, there you see it. Ay, 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 ay. I didn't see a zebra at all. No giraffe, no lion. So I was interviewing Sarah Ferguson yesterday, and it's so funny. The first thing she said when she walked in was, Gayle, I love your dress. So, of course, Andre's doing the happy dance. I thought, really? I don't really like it so much. So I get off the air, and I'm heading to the magazine. I get this email from my sister, Sharon. Just done watching the show. The dress, don't like it, in caps. Looks a little cheap. And it wasn't cheap. Please don't wear it again. Okay, Sharon. Then I get to work. Adam Glassman, who's the creative director at O Magazine, at O the Oprah Magazine, hope you're a subscriber, who really does have spectacular fashion sense. I go into a meeting. We do these things at the magazine. We have O-list run-throughs. In the magazine, we have O-list items, things that we think are great. And so we had a big run-through, and I went to talk to Adam about something. He goes, that's an interesting dress. I have to say, it really doesn't look like you. I go, I know, Adam, I know. I was thinking, he goes, interesting, which is Adam's code word. I was telling Andre this story this morning. Well, did he say interesting good or did he say interesting bad? I go, he didn't finish the sentence. He just went, interesting. I don't think that's ever good. I'll tell you who's not having dress problems. Everybody seems to like whatever Kate Middleton wears. Kate Middleton puts on a dress and it sells out lickety-split. So it was no exception yesterday when she showed up in Wimbledon. I thought, wow, I like that dress. It's a Temperley dress. Temperley is a British designer. They said the royal newlywed didn't even break a sweat in the 90-degree heat. She exuded elegance in the dress that was $1,200, although it was on sale online for half that price. And they said once that was posted, the dress is now no longer available. But Kate Middleton, I think, is now becoming quite the fashion plate. And it's so interesting to me that all of us, many of us who have never met Kate Middleton, have really even never heard her speak, don't know anything about Kate Middleton, but you just look at her and go, I like her. There's just something about the way that she moves or something about the way she interacts with her husband, Prince William, that you just think she just seems like such a nice person. And as you know, they're about to come, the royal couple is coming to Canada, and then they're coming to the United States. They're going to be wined and dined in California, and it's the ticket that once they decide what the event's going to be, everybody wants to go to. But you go Kate Middleton. Whatever she puts on, people are thinking, I want one of that. So there at Wimbledon yesterday, I didn't see it, but rumor has it that Jay-Z was also in the crowd. So he was there when Venus and Serena were both defeated yesterday. They said that hasn't happened in 5 years, that both sisters were defeated on the same day. And it's been a long time since there's been a Wimbledon that you didn't have one of the Williams sisters, but both of them were knocked out yesterday. We're sorry about that because we like both Venus and Serena. Here's something I thought was funny. Now, we have all, I shouldn't say we've all used this excuse, but I've heard of people using the excuse of, I have a headache, dear, no sex for you. I have a headache tonight. I've heard that people use that excuse. I'm not saying anything that I know about that, but here's an excuse I've never heard. Honey, if you don't fix the asphalt road, no sex for you. This is what's happening in Colombia. 250 women from a small town in rural Colombia say that they're going on a sex strike. They said that they've all made a vow to take part in the cross legs strike. Why are they so frustrated? They said they've been asking the government for over 20 years to fix the friggin' road that they think is a very dangerous situation. It currently takes more than 10 hours for people to travel 35 miles to the nearest town because the road is so screwed up. So now they're thinking one way to get the men's attention is to say, you know what, you ain't getting any. We'll keep you posted on that. My favorite daughter Kirby and favorite son Will are now 25 and 24. And I think my days of sitting them down and having the talk about alcohol are over. But I want to show this video to those of you who still have children that may need the talk. I think this is the best example of Exhibit A of sit your kids down and say, see what happened to this kid? He's going up the escalator. He falls over 30 feet to the ground. He and his friend are riding the escalator. You can see how he's climbing up on the side of the escalator, and as boys will do. You know, I have to say, this is only something a boy would do. A girl would never do this. So the boy and his friend are riding up the escalator. You know how they sit on the side, and for some reason he's thinking, let me get a better seat. He topples over 30 feet to the ground. We learn later that he and his friend were riding up the escalator. Every time you look at the video, you think, gosh, I don't know how that kid survived. It's a big 30-foot drop. We learned later that he and his friend had gone to a concert, and Shane O'Malley decided, maybe I should tell my story to help others. Here's Shane O'Malley.
I was at the concert, Dispatch concert.
Oh, okay.
And we were drinking before the concert and in the concert. And then I obviously got too drunk, way too irresponsible.
You know what I like about that? I like that he said I was drinking. I was irresponsible, and I'm glad that he's publicly saying that, because maybe somebody will see that and think, I'm not going to do that. I also saw an interview with Shane's dad who said, to be honest with you, my son doesn't even remember falling off of the escalator. Really lucky that he survived and that he's okay, and now hopefully maybe he will tell others. Drinking, right now we know, drinking and driving isn't good. Drinking and riding the escalator, not a smart thing to do. The search continues for Lauren Spear. I keep saying that I want to talk about this story because I don't want people to forget, especially when I look at the interviews with Lauren Spear's parents. Lauren Spear also was involved, I believe, in drinking. They said that she left a bar at 4:30 in the morning without her shoes. She was barefoot, didn't have her cell phone or her purse. Clearly an indication that she wasn't totally all there. That was the last time they've seen her. It's now been 3 weeks since she has been missing. And her parents are issuing an appeal. You know, she was with friends at the time, and the parents and the police are getting frustrated because they believe that her friends know more than they are telling, and now Lauren's mom is making an appeal to Lauren's friends.
Perhaps it was a terrible accident that happened, and we can deal with that. You know, we can deal with whatever it is. It's what we can't deal with is what we don't know. Lauren, I miss everything about you. There's not one thing any given day that I'm not missing about you.
Gosh, I don't know. Every time I see something like that with another mother who's going on TV to talk about the missing child, it's just one of those things as a parent that you said, somebody please come forward and say something. You know, early in the investigation, there were reports that police had been told that maybe Lauren and her friends had been involved in drug activity and that maybe she overdosed and the friends are trying to cover it up. That was just one of the theories. The truth of the matter is, you know, she was walking with a friend and they appeared to be intoxicated. There was an altercation not involving Lauren, involving a guy who she was with. And now all 5 of her friends who have been called persons of interest have all lawyered up. So clearly there's more to this story, and I think that we're just trying to help the Spears. That hopefully somebody will hear something and say, you know what, I know something about the case. I have something to say. So Lauren Spear now goes, she's been missing now since June 3rd. Well, I know where to find Rocco DeSpirito, in a kitchen someplace or somewhere fine dining or just walking around the streets of New York. I'm a big fan of Rocco DeSpirito's. He's a chef. And now he has another show on TV. And of course, it involves eating. Rocco DeSpirito joins us right after the break. This is The Gayle King Show.
We're having a party, dancing to the music, played by
It's the Gayle King Show.
Yes. The casting did not go the way I thought on that show. Gourmet Magazine called him America's most exciting young chef, and now he's still very exciting, and I have to say, still young. Now Rocco DiSpirito is as comfortable on TV as he is in his kitchen. And on his new Bravo show, I can't wait for you to see it if you haven't watched already. You got to tune in tomorrow. It's called Rocco's Dinner Party. He gives 3 chefs a shot at creating the most perfect meal and the most memorable evening for him and some of his friends. And he joins us now to talk about the show. Hello, Rocco DiSpirito.
Hi, Gayle. How are you? So
I
nice
am
to
really
see you.
good.
I'm going to hug you again. I have to thank you for this show.
It feels good, though, doesn't it, to hug? I think hugging is good.
Does.
I think
next best thing to cooking.
And what I know about you, Rocco, is that you're very huggable.
Oh, thank you very
Yes,
much.
I've heard from reliable sources that he's very huggable, to be named later.
It's
But
the,
listen,
it's the undershirt that I wear. It's very squishy.
but let's talk
But
about
I have to
the
thank
show.
you for this show. Let's talk about the show. Let's talk about how I got the show. I got the show because a wonderful woman named Gayle King appeared on my pilot and made it exciting and
That
wonderful
is not how you
and
got
highly
this.
watchable.
That is not how you
And
got this
I
damn
don't
show,
know.
Rocco.
I think that was a big part of it. I do. I really do. Yep.
No, but I got a call from Bravo. Would I participate in this pilot that you were doing?
Yep.
And they explained the premise to me, and I said, "Oh, I would love to do that because it involves eating."
Yes.
And it involves eating really good food. So I want you to set up the show and
Sure.
how it works. But I just have to say, last week when it debuted, June 15th. On the opening episode, there was a guy that was making banana bread pudding.
Yes.
Honest to God, I wanted to lick the friggin' TV
Yes,
screen.
it was
when
so
he just
good.
when he just wrote on the menu board that his dessert was going to be banana bread pudding, I thought, gosh, I wish I was at that party. Okay, but let's set up the premise. 3 chefs come in.
Yes, we have 3 chefs.
Yeah, and then
2
you pick-
dinner parties, 1 check for $20,000.
Yes,
And,
that they get to use for whatever they want.
Yeah, they get to use for whatever they
Yeah.
want. And it's Bravo, so you know the check's going to clear. So it's
Yes,
really good. They're doing
yes.
really well.
As opposed to if you or I were writing the check, where you say, "Don't cash it till
It's
December."
questionable. Yeah, we'd have to post date it, till the refund comes in or something. So what's great about this show is that we not only celebrate cooking.
Yeah.
We celebrate why people cook.
Yes.
And why do people cook?
Yes.
People cook to make other people feel like they matter in this world.
So true. I do think
It's
it's
really
a loving
the only
thing.
reason we do it. It is the
I think
nicest,
it's a
most
loving
generous
thing.
gesture a person can make. First thing a mother does when a baby's born,
Yes.
feeds it.
Yes,
Right? That's how
yes.
important it is.
She might kiss it.
Yeah, okay, but then feed it. Feeding is high on the priority
Feeding
list.
is up there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you start with the 3 chefs, and then you pick 2.
Yeah, they make me their signature dish.
This
Yeah,
is
the
what you
signature
said
dish
about the
challenges-
signature dish.
yes.
You said the signature dish, you judge them on technique, their point of view, their
Mm-hmm.
training. You said it's their calling card. You said it describes their personality.
That's exactly right.
Really?
So the
How
dish they choose
so?
to make, the ingredients they pick, the condition they're in, how they behave in the kitchen with other chefs, all reveals a lot about who they are as people and whether or not I can trust them around my treasured guests for a dinner party.
And they can pick any signature dish
That's
they
right.
want. You give them a budget. What's the budget they have to go and buy the groceries?
They have unlimited budget
Oh, they
for the
do?
signature dish. Yeah, they bring in their own ingredients.
okay.
They can bring them from home. They can shop them locally, whatever they want to do. So there's really no limits here.
Okay.
They can come in with some food prep. This is a challenge that doesn't really have a challenge element. It's so easy. All I want to do is learn a little bit about their personalities.
I know. So you're judging more on just how the food comes out. You're actually
Yes.
judging on what they pick and how they pick.
I'm judging
Which I
what
think
kind
is
of
interesting.
person they are, because that's what's most important about a chef who's throwing a dinner party. Our job as a host is to make people happy. That's our only job.
Yeah,
right?
but this is the thing about Rocco, that I was very surprised when I was shooting the pilot. Rocco, you are tough. No, the way you come in, number one, you really know your stuff. That's number one. But the way you come in, and you're tough in a way that isn't humiliating to people. But you a couple of times bitch slap people around a couple of times just to say, "Are you really want to serve that? Are you pleased with how that turned out? Is that really what you were thinking?" I mean, I actually marveled at how you moved in the kitchen and the way you interacted with people. I thought it was really interesting to watch. You know, my contribution was, "Ooh, this is really good," or, "Oh no, I didn't care for that." I mean, I couldn't think of all the adjectives that you use when you talk about cooking.
Well, there are a lot of ways to talk about cooking,
Yes,
and
yes,
it's
yeah.
a very emotional thing for me, and I do fiercely protect my guests' right to have a good time.
Why is
so
it
I want to
emotional
make
for
sure,
you? Why?
because everything that I value in my life is tied up with my ability to cook and make people happy with my food.
Okay.
So that when I'm co-hosting a dinner party with a chef I just met, I really have to make sure that they're up to the standards I'm looking for. And then if I don't find 2 chefs that are good enough, I'm gonna have to do it myself.
Oh, has it come to a part
And I
that,
might lose the competition.
No.
I don't want to lose in front of everybody.
But Rocco, you
I'm just
actually know how to
joking,
cook. You
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
what
no,
is your
I spent
training?
my entire life cooking. I started cooking at 11 because I wanted to buy an album called Love Gun by Kiss.
Really?
My mother refused to give me the money because she thought they were a bunch of devils. And she said, you want to buy
what
this
did she
music from
say?
a this devils, you go get a job. I was like, I can get a job? Okay, great. I
So
got a
that's
job
how
in a
you started,
restaurant.
because you wanted to buy the album?
Yeah, I got a job in a restaurant, and it was the best day of my life. And I
Oh
never
my
stopped
gosh.
working in the restaurant business. And I
So-
spent, 20, 30 years training with the best chefs I could possibly work with. I traveled all over the world. I lived in France for 2 years. I went to the Culinary Institute of America. I worked for 4-star chefs in New York City.
Yeah.
I scrubbed floors for free to learn how to cook.
Rocco's
I
saying-
did the things that chefs do.
You walk the walk. Rocco said, I got skills. I actually have talent. I'm not one of these people that gets on TV and talks about cooking. I can actually do it. And have you noticed there's a difference, I think, in chefs? I was in a meeting recently and somebody said, when did chefs become so